Hello friends, my name is Oldman Cloud. I upload daily Bazaar gameplay videos to my YouTube channel. Let's jump into another run. Trying to get a run with Vanessa's new items going. From what I've seen so far, this being the cards from the prize pass pack. From what I've seen so far, they seem to be very fun, very flavorful, but not particularly strong. So I'm interested to see whether my opinion on that changes as I play them, or whether that remains to be the case. So this is where Shiny Seashell, the item is underwhelming, however the enchantment is one of the best in the game, Shiny. So I think I take this with the goal in mind of transforming it to a better item with the same enchant via the transform node. Can't pass up an early crow's nest, even if it's just to stick it in the bag. Sure, let's trying to take items that are going to work with the crow's nest when we pivot to that. Cove is also a great early item, but we can't afford it, which is a bit of a shame.
Aura guided me to what you needed.
Kind of a weird first shop. Maybe could have done that better, but I feel, let's go for into Kimono. I feel picking up the crow's nest early is just so nice. And putting in the bag for a potential crow's nest pivot once we see a weapon that suits it is quite nice. I'm trying to think of what are the new items I've seen that could work with crow's nest. I don't think any of them really do. Maybe Big Monkey as a one with the one weapon build potentially. But yeah, we'll worry about that when we get to it. If we get to it, I should say. Always like seeing the scarf as a bit of early scaling, but with our build we also don't mind the scrap. So there's no reason not to fight Kimono. And we get the scarf, so we can go all in on shield. As long as we don't run up against poison, we're fine. Good thing there's no noted poisoners in the meta at the moment. Scarf not toys, so we can't get the XP from Tiny Fairy Monster. Let's have a look at you. Seaweed's a good get. And let's also pick up Clamora.
You're a smart one for your size.
We'd love to see fins to scale our shield. We don't, but I'll take B1, B2. There's a few options here. One is to scale. One is to upgrade the scarf so that it scales faster. One is to upgrade the crow's nest on the basis that it will likely be the centerpiece of our future build. But I think the best option is to upgrade Shiny Seashell, so that which makes it stronger in the short term, and means that once we hopefully upgrade it into or transform it into a better item, it also stays as a silver item. So we've got a deceptively strong early build with our survivability. We just don't want to see any poison, which we don't. So we win this pretty comfortably, even against Mad Max Vanessa. We've got a pretty nice aquatic synergy build going on. Just don't want to see any max. And want to keep an eye out for potential one weapon pivots, and want to keep an eye out for ways of transforming Shiny Seashell, which is a cool bit of tech, transforming an item with a nice enchant into another item because it keeps its enchantment. It's very gambly. I think it's probably relatively unlikely to end up in a really strong item that you're going to keep on your board, but it sure is fun. And that's what we're all about here. Let's take a look here. You're a newbie. Just don't know what you're really supposed to do with this. What's the synergy here? Reducing cooldown by 10% is quite nice, but it takes up 2 spots on your board just to do that. And it keeps firing. You could expect it to go off maybe 3 times in a relatively early combat, which is good. It's not amazing. Yeah, I just don't really see what they were going for with that item, but maybe I'm missing some interesting synergy. Some interesting synergy it has. It's definitely a possibility. Let's play you like that. Still fins would be a nice
If you're not
pickup.
ready for
But our
a run,
seashell is scaling
not sure
quite
what else to
nicely
say.
here.
It takes really
Especially with
confidence
that.
to let a kid train you. I'm impressed.
So I mean that's a lot of shield. That's an amount of shield that a lot of builds are going to really struggle to get through. Let's hope we get lucky here. Yeah, that certainly qualifies as getting lucky. And we'd try to make Crusher Claw work if we picked it up, I think, but we'd far rather see your silver seashell. And maybe there's no rush to transform this. The shiny seashell has been performing very well in the early game. Double buffing seaweed as well. Maybe you should have it next to jellyfish so you double haste it. And double triggering pearl, or double charging pearl. So it's doing a job for us. But it's certainly, you're not going to see a late game board with shiny pearl, shiny seashell, I would hazard a guess. So the transform option is still pretty decent. Let's try to make you work. Maybe not quite today. There was something about our order I didn't like. Yeah, I wanted you to go there. Maybe not quite today. You hit for 95. You hit for 95 every 9 seconds. It's not great. Just one. Is there a really cool Crusher Claw Crow's Nest Scarf build? You scale Scarf to infinity. Crusher Claw gets a lot of damage, reduces cooldown. It's just a worse boulder late game, but it's certainly funny. I think we go against Rogue Scrapper. Should match up fine here. There's something to it. There's something to it, let's put it that way. Of course, we probably want to get Scarf to silver before we make any semi-serious efforts to scale it. And it doesn't really fit with our kind of small aquatic items theme we got going on. But we got options. We got options. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, my friends. We'll find a way to make the build work, or you won't see this video because I won't upload it. So it's a win-win. What have you got for us? Not what we want. That will not be our single weapon. But you upgrade our Crusher Claw. It's getting there. We're definitely taking Finn's Big Bite for shield. Pretty sure it works on Scarf. Yeah, you weren't 20 before. And now Scarf, I think we probably get Crusher Claw onto the field now. Why do you, oh, you're extra aquatic as well. So yeah, this is kind of a cool early build. Crusher Claw is strong enough that maybe it helps us against Max. Cove's a nice pickup as well. It's kind of coming together. I'm not sure what's coming together, but I feel like something is coming together here. It's just good stuff. Lots of good items. We must have a friend in here somewhere. We do, with jellyfish, so we can take the extra XP. Or let's just take a haste item. Shame that we're not able to duplicate it. But I'll take the upgrade. And let's take on Pig, level 3.
I may be young for a captain,
How do we match up against Pig? Should be fine. What are you doing? Ataladdle and Textiles being buffed by Ganjo with strong Matchbox, but Matchbox got nerfed, so it's not as good as it used to be. The Ataladdle's going to get faster and faster, but we're going to be shielding an awful lot. And you, my friend, have no poison. You do have a lot of scaling in your own weird way, don't you? Don't you, you cheeky little pig? I think we should be okay here. We've got an awful lot of shield. The Ataladdle is, I mean, it's getting faster and faster, hitting harder and harder, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, Claw did pretty much nothing here, let's be honest. But it's still fun to be playing with Claw on the board. It's such a shame this doesn't upgrade at all, basically. Pretty sure the only thing that upgrades is giving this kind of microscopic benefit to our shield items every 9 seconds, just completely irrelevant. It would be much better if its cooldown got reduced, for example. Pickles. So, interesting situation here where I want to get the chocolate for both Scarf and Cove, but I don't have room I want the chocolate, but I don't have room for the chocolate. I need to clear 3 spots. Is it ever Crow's Nest to go? I'm kind of attached to our kind of sea aquatic board here. I like Scarf and Crusher Claw. Crusher Claw is not a great weapon with Crow's Nest, although it's not bad. Or do we pivot into... Maybe we pivot into Crusher Claw now. In which case you play it like... You're gone, you're gone, you're on the team. You're off the team, you're on the team. You play it like this. And that way you can clear room by selling out these 3. And once the board expands, we add Scarf. Yeah. 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 So now we get good value from chocolate because it is buffing our Scarf, even though we'd like Scarf to be silver, and buffing our Cove. Let's sell it now, even though you could try to hold in the inventory, but I think I'd rather sell it now. Tempting to go Gumballs. I think it's a bit greedy to go Gumballs now, even though we get the money straight back in Cove value and you buff the Scarf. I think I've talked myself into it. It's going to be Gumballs, I'm afraid. The yellow Gumballs we also get good value out of. We'd love to see a B1, B2 before we commit to selling these for the Scarf upgrade, but no such luck. Pretty sure we can take you because we shield quite a lot and we occasionally get rid of your shield. That's a nasty crit to start. 4%, brother? What are you doing to me? I think we should still be fine. We certainly outshield their damage. Worried if it comes down to timing, but yeah, it really should be fine. Would be nice if we got a crit. We also got the world's slowest scaling from Crusher Core. What were they thinking with this? Your shield gains your shield arms gain +2 shield just for the fight. Every 9 seconds. And that's what upgrades when it upgrades. Weird. Anyway, not often you see a Crusher Claw build, so that's fun. And I think that means we're going to get to level 4, maybe not quite. Today? Yeah, we do. Which means we can finally upgrade. So like I said, no point upgrading Crusher Claw. Very tempting to upgrade Crow's Nest. But I think the better play is to upgrade Scarf. Because it can become quite a devastating shielder with the scaling engine we've got. And then Scarf starts to increase the damage on Crusher Claw as well. So it's an odd build. You don't need me to tell you this is an odd build, but I think this is all. Maybe we want to give the extra shield to Scarf because it scales Crusher Claw, and then we sell all of this, which now provides a pretty decent buff to both shield and Crusher Claw. Okay, and we have fins for another buff to shield. Feeling pretty good. Not in a rush to transform Shiny Seashell at this point. Let's hold on to it. And let's just take the gold, seeing as we also aren't interested in seeing weapons. Okay. I feel like we improved quite a bit today, as weird as this build is. No win but level 4 Vanessa. Gold Vanessa. So they know what they're doing in the meta. So they've gone a spammy build, because that's... A spammy aggro build is what you want in this meta. But I don't think it's what you want against me, brother. You want that against me, though. The poison. We can certainly outshield their damage. The concern is the poison. But we have sustain from Seaweed, and we have some life still coming in. Might come down to crits. Might need to crit with our 21% claw. Just because of the amount of damage they're doing. We really need claw to crit hit. Every time. Should be okay. Think we may have got saved by the crit. Oh god, we win. That was beautiful. That's the benefit of the streamer client right there, baby. Really fun build. You know when you kind of get invested in this game in your fun wacky builds and you just want them to do well so badly. This is one of those for me. Crusher Claw and Scarf. Oh, the world is coming together to try to make this build work. I can't believe I just saw 5 yellow gumballs in the one selection. It's a thing of beauty. And let's take some free chocolate bars. Why not, brother? Keep it coming. Keep the candy coming. Potential for Cove to get a little nasty as well. Now, we should be able to beat Flame Juggler with our shielding. Can be a pretty nasty enemy with how quickly he piles on the burn. But once we proc one lot of shields, I think we should straight away be fine. Yeah, we're going to be completely fine. It's hitting pretty hard already. If we can get your crit chance up and keep scaling Scarf, maybe there is a one-tap build here. Kind of a roundabout route to get here. Starting from a shiny seashell. But here we are. It's looking quite good, to be honest. I don't need to keep saying it, but Mac is the problem. And Bug Dooley, but Bug Dooley just beats... Bethesda Dooley just beats everything, so there's no point worrying about it too much.
This is how you win a war.
Good skills can certainly help us here. Charging a slow item is not relevant to us. Let's try that again. These don't look good at all. We don't want to see fire. Yuck. Awful skills. Awful, awful skills. Maybe we pick up a freezer? I don't know. That was just a complete whiff, which is a real shame. We want non-weapon items to sell. I think we'll just go to the docks and take a shield item. Not really what we're interested in. And I think we take as tempting as the non-weapon merchant is, I think we try to get another fight here. Shame. I think we beat pretty much anyone. You're a non-weapon item to sell at least, so I don't think you've got a future for us. Time to get the Cove involved? No, nowhere near. Still, what we've got on the board is a lot better. Dooley!
We're out to dethrone.
Dooley, 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 Dooley. Bugs, 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 bugs. Not bugs. Square Dooley. Pretty typical... Oh no, Plasma Rifle. Plasma Rifle's going to ruin our life. We might need a crit here, brother. Nope. Oh god. Oh god. Make it stop. Get there. Oh, thank goodness. This thing gets so nasty so quickly. You're forgiven, Dooley. I can forgive a Plasma Rifle Dooley. I also shouldn't be talking down on the bugs because I'm planning on playing them at some point sooner rather than later. It's all in good fun. Let's take some chocolate bars. Really want to see a B1, B2 for Crow's Nest. Ideally 2 for Crow's Nest and Cove, but settle for 1.
I would never debase my
Non-weapons is what we want. Shot glasses. I had such a fun run with them. One of my favourite ever Bazaar runs, but it doesn't work with what we're doing here. And let's go after the Trash Town Mare, seeing as we can make use of augmented weaponry and particularly make use of augmented defences, which in its own way has a similar effect as weaponry given the way our claw is scaling off our Scarf. So the benefit of this as well is you can stick an enchant on Scarf once you've scaled it massively. And it can become its own kind of fairly dangerous item. And we've got Cove sitting in the backpack, which has some potential as well if we can manage to upgrade it. And we're on a perfect run so far, which is great. Perfect Crusher Claw Scarf build. Seems highly unlikely, but here we are. We also blanked on our silver skill, which is really unfortunate, but can't complain about how it's going so far. Fine, I guess. Would have obviously rather taken one of the skills. Let's take a loot item because we're guaranteed of that being a non-weapon which buffs Scarf, even if it's not one we wanted. And let's really hope we get a fight here. Pretty sure we can take anyone, and would be great to start getting ahead on the XP. Great. don't think anything here is of too much interest. We'd take the 10% crit chance and we'd take the pelt for scarf scaling. The left side of our board is starting to get a little outclassed. It's still doing decently, mind you, particularly the shiny seashell, but bronze seaweed not doing a huge amount, bronze pearl not doing a huge amount. We can look at potential better items to pull into the board. That's not one of them. And it won't be a weapon, I don't think. We really need a silencer, actually. That's worth bearing in mind. Can't get one from here. I'll take a tool, which is actually a weapon, which is unfortunate because you don't buff Scarf. What a useless item the grappling hook is. Vanessa, level 5-1 win. Not having a great time, but you never know. Crow's Nest. I got one of those, brother. Cutlass with very high crit chance. You're going to be hitting mighty hard and scaling yourself, but we have shield which you don't. So I think... Oh, well, there you go. I wasn't even paying attention. Well done, Crusher Claw. They mustn't have had much health at all. They must have had a significant health deficit. I was too busy focused on how their weapon was affecting us. Could transform the seashell, but it's still kind of pulling its own weight. We've got a lot of money to work with, so we'll buy you and you. You can come on the board instead of seaweed, which is doing pretty much nothing at bronze, even though some healing is nice. Maybe over like that, because pearl's just doing nothing. And you need to be in the middle. And then Rowboat. Rowboat is an interesting chap. We have the tags property, aquatic, weapon, apparel, tool, if we hang on to dive weights. So we've got 5, and vehicle from Rowboat. We could grab Rowboat and play it instead of... I think some extra charging is probably pretty nice. And play it like, sorry shiny, but play it like this maybe? 4.5. There's probably not too... It might be better, you still say, maybe just the extra survivability is just a little bit better? Especially because, oh no, we can put you next to 2 aquatics like that. That's probably better. So I think we sell seaweed and hold on to... God, I'm struggling with all the sea pronunciation in this episode. Hold on to seashell, shiny seashell, and try to transform it into something better. What are you doing, friend? If only I guess it's kind of a disembodied claw. Yeah, is it? I guess it is, because we're using it as a weapon. So it doesn't count as a friend, unfortunately. That would have been some amazing tech. I assume there's some way in this pack to give things the friend tag. There must be, hopefully. But we won't be making that work today. Alright, we have to upgrade Crow's Nest for the crit chance. That's a given.
Now this
Still got some money. Take the free chocolate for scarf scaling. And our cove is cooking away here, up to a value of 60. If we can upgrade our cove, that's going to do work for us. Pretty sure we can take the loan shark, despite the loan shark having strong scaling.
What's that I smell?
We've got a little bit of haste to help out, decent chance of getting 1 crit, charge, survivability. Got a little bit of everything here. Their scaling is certainly scary though. There's a crit, that should take away what little doubt there was, I think. Yeah. Yeah, cool. This the rowboat is a great improvement to the build. It's rare to see a rowboat scale or charge kind of both of your key items at the same time like this. Often with the way the build works out, it can only hit one. So was a great pickup here. And we'll absolutely fight someone else. Because we're quite strong, I think. Let's try to push on to level 10 as soon as possible and look at getting a scaling enchant on the scarf, hopefully. Could also look to pick up Swashbuckle potentially and put it in between instead of the rowboat, but we'll deal with that situation if it comes up. For the time being, I'm just very much enjoying this scarfed Crusher Claw.
We barely
single weapon
got
run.
our flags up.
Sometimes you want to hang on to Rainbow Potion for Weather Glass because it activates Weather Glass so effectively. I think it fulfills all conditions just by itself. And for Flagship because it's a good ammo item, but I don't think a pivot to either of those is in our future.
If not today, tomorrow. If not this life, the next.
Bit of freeze where our crit chance is only going to get higher as well, so a bit of disruption. There's kind of synergy with Shadow, I suppose. Sure, why not? Pick. At least they're cheap, brother. At least they're cheap. We're rocking Pig Scarf, so it's only fitting that we get some Pig items. It might even be worth a reroll just because Pig has great econ items, which is kind of we've ended up kind of playing a piggish build. Oh, rewarded. And loop is amazing as well. Very rewarded there, even if we spent through all our money. We might end up selling Cove for the econ. I've got a nasty feeling. Because I don't think it's going to ever be coming onto the board instead of Scarf. And I think it's probably a bit too much focus on Shield to come on the board instead of our other items. We should match up fairly well against this, although that's a pretty scary weapons Vanessa. We're going to want to get a move on with our Scarf defense and our lifesteal. Should be okay. With the charge is making all the difference here. Yeah, the charge is really beautiful, hitting both our key items like this. Really beautiful. So I think Cove might be getting sold, as much of a letdown as it is. We never got a chance to upgrade it to silver as far as I'm aware, and I think it's probably just a bit behind. We really want to have it as silver to start considering putting onto the board, and the extra money just gives us so much more to play with. So I think it's on the chopping block, let's say. Gumballs are great with our build here. We got the loop, so they gain 1 value. They put the value into Cove, and they buff Scarf, which in turn buffs Crusher Claw. Scarf benefits from getting to gold, getting upgraded early, because it now scales more effectively. So it's all come together beautifully, and we'll definitely take a buff to shield and health. And we got to have a decent chance, right? I think you just have to. When you're this strong, you got to give it a shot. And what are you going to hit with your Spyglass? That's probably the best one it could hit. I'm not super confident here, but our shield matches up so well against their burn. Plus we have a bit of life steal. Our weights are going to run out of effectiveness, which is a shame. But I think we should be okay. And there's Fiery Rebirth is an incredible skill to get here. Yeah, we got this. So that's a great win. Whenever you can beat Radiant Corsair, your run's in a pretty good place. Even though there are different considerations for human and AI fights. We're doing pretty nicely here with our Crusher Claw build. Ugh, so even buffed, it's awful. I'm going to take it just because my skill pool is already bad, so I don't need to worry about keeping it pure, and because there's a chance that we pick up a fiery enchant. Not really what we want, but like I said, upgrading the claw is completely redundant. I'm 90% sure. Let me just double check that before I make a fool of myself. Or before I make more of a fool of myself. How bizarre. It doesn't reduce its cooldown and it doesn't increase its damage. It just increases its shield, so it is a completely useless upgrade. So we upgrade Cove, even having just said that it doesn't really have a future. Now it starts to look a bit better. I think that's enough to try to hang on to it. Small items to help buff Scarf. Upgrade our Seashell to gold, sure.
Diamonds come in small boxes.
Still looking to transform that. And we'll take your non-weapons for Scarf scaling. And Cove scaling, and it's good for loop. Well, such weird synergies, but they're working. There's the B1, B2, just when we don't need them. Because we just got our Cove to silver anyway. So we don't need them at all. You're an expensive lass, so let's grab you. Maybe some cute synergy with this and Scarf, but not worth thinking about. Mac, our arch nemesis Mac.
My fight isn't with you.
Poison Mac is extremely bad for us, and we're a little slow to get everything off the ground, so there's a chance we don't do too well here. Bug! They're everywhere! And it's actually, they got the perfect bug for them. This glaive hits incredibly hard. And they're healing pretty much all the damage we're doing. We're gonna have to get a crit with our next hit. And even then it may not be enough. We got the crit. And then we got to... It's about to hit for 10 times. Oh, we get there. I didn't see whether we needed that crit. We didn't need the crit. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Can't believe this run is on perfect status so far. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm just going to continue scaling. As our Scarf gets stronger, our Claw gets stronger, we make money from loop, our Cove gets stronger and increasingly makes a case for inclusion on the board, even though that might hurt the core of the build a bit, maybe? We'll see. We prefer not to sell the Cove, but it's there as an option if we ever desperately need the cash. Shiny Seashell is also becoming... Oh, see that pronunciation? Is also becoming quite good. But I don't think it's ever coming back, so I'm definitely open to the possibility of transforming it. How do we most improve the run in the very short term, because we really want to get 3 wins as soon as possible before things start getting crazy? I think we do that by improving our crit chance on Crusher Claw. So I think the next upgrade will be Crow's Nest. And where do we put our enchant? Enchant item with shield. Oh baby! If this is what I'm thinking, my thinking here is that you put it on Silk Scarf, it doubles its shield, which then doubles the damage of Crusher Claw. I haven't looked at how Bazaar to check, but I'm going for it. Oh baby! It's busted! This is an extraordinarily strong one-tap build for this stage of the game. Extraordinarily strong. It's a high cooldown, but we get decent charge. Well, we get great charge from Rowboat, really. Which means it's really only 7 seconds. And most fights at this point are going to be going 7 seconds, and it's going to be one-tapping a lot of people. Wah-wah-wee-wah. I think we give up on transforming our Seashell, because realistically, what are we putting it down if it transforms into? Any weapons immediately off the table. Silencer would be the dream, but what are the chances? I think we're better off just trying to buff our Scarf massively.
Use that for the good of all.
In which case we probably sell it, as sad as that is. It helps out in the early game though. Oh, it's back! Why does that always happen? Swashbuckle. Let's think about Swashbuckle. So you'd be giving our Scarf an extra 25, which is actually 50. Plus you'd be giving the crit chance. It's really strong. Do you play it instead of Crow's Nest? No. I think you have to keep Rowboat in between them. In which case you can only hit one. Yeah, I don't think it quite works. I don't think it quite works. So let's stick with what we've got here. Let's absolutely fight a monster. We can take on all comers here other than maybe some of the freeze AI. But I've got a good feeling about this one. The claw. I love that it has its own animation as well. I don't think any other item uses that. You very rarely see the Crusher Claw run, but the shield enchant really just brought that all together like chef's kiss. Wasn't even thinking of how strong that enchantment could be.
Guess I'm not the only one with a
No, no, no. No, no. Sure. Not very good, but it's something.
No. Get out of here before someone sees you.
You're gone. You're staying, and we won't flex by putting you on the board. Cove is getting pretty juicy, but especially now it's never going to get more shield than the Silk Scarf, so very open to selling out of the Scarf. This is a good Vanessa, but we have a level advantage, which is level 10, which is a huge advantage because it's an enchant advantage. But they're a poisoner. I think we're just too strong. If we crit, we one tap, and even if we don't, I think we're going to get a chance to go again with the charge and the shield. Yeah, nasty one tap Crusher Claw build. I was close to not playing it early on, to be honest. Very glad that I did. Potentially on track for a perfect. Not interested in burn items. Let's go here for scaling.
Master merchant or supply from Barcoon.
I think
He actually cares about
let's just live a little. Who knows what we get from that? We get something terrible, but we don't lose too much money, and it scales everything twice, so it could be worse. And the scaling on the Scarf is just incredible now. Look at how strong it is. The loop has great synergy with what we're doing, as does Cove if we ever decide to cash out. The Temptation, I'm pretty sure you have a gold crow's nest at this point. You do. We could definitely use that. And I'd have to figure out whether the wheel or the rowboat's better if we get given the wheel. The one tap with the Crusher Claw is extraordinarily satisfying. Is this the most satisfying one tap weapon? Probably the boulder has to be up there, right? Upgrade has to be Crow's Nest for crit chance. Crit chance is incredibly important to the build. Could maybe make a case for Rowboat for faster charge, but at this point we're getting in one hit with the Crusher Claw almost certainly. So that having the higher crit chance on that one hit is really important.
All of this is like a gift from the sea.
Cove upgrade. You're tempting me, brother. What are you up to now? 402 shield every 4 seconds. It's pretty incredible. I think for the time being we stick with what we got, but there's a potential pivot in there maybe?
I hope you use that to defeat the
It's outclassed by Scarf long term, but getting it, the fact it gets off the ground so quickly. Don't think we're to the point of paying 16 for the relatively marginal buff, and even though you've got some synergy with the build, you're not what we're looking for. Dually. Can we beat bugs with this build? Can we beat Bethesda Dually? I think so. We're about to find out, because it's unsurprisingly complete bug dually. With poison, you hate to see it. We one tap with crit. It would be nice to get a crit here, to be honest. We don't. Do we get to go again? Maybe? Probably not. God, it's so busted. Come on! No, we're not going to get to go again. Yeah, it's so unlucky. Unlucky to miss the 70% crit chance, and then I think we got pretty rough freezes there as well. This build is just stupid. They need in desperate need of a bug fix, as it were. But we got pretty lucky with our run as well, so don't want to complain too much.
Who I am does not at the edge.
I feel like we go okay in the late game. The dream is to pick up Radiant Enchant on the Claw. Without a Radiant Enchant, maybe we have a bit of a rough time in the later game, but we'll see how it pans out. So you haste, you go every 2.5 seconds, haste for 2, pretty much perma-haste, whereas you charge for 2 seconds every 4.5 seconds. So your first hit of Crusher Claw with Rowboat is taking 7 seconds. Yeah. If we were to include Captain's Wheel, after 2.5 seconds you get hasted for 2 seconds. So you've taken 2.5. The next 4 seconds will only take 2. 4.5 is actually 6.5. I'm not good at this. I think they're very similar. Unless I'm messing something up. And we can't play them both. So with that in mind, maybe we stick to Rowboat. There's also to take into account the fact it's sometimes getting haste from dive weights. I think rowboat is fine. That probably hurt to hear for anyone that knows about maths. I'm sure what I was trying to do there, half in my head, was not the correct way of figuring that out. Anyway, Frost Street Champion, let's try. Think we may be okay here? This hammer scales awfully quickly, but all we need is one hit from Crusher Claw, or 70% chance all we need is one hit. That dually fight is upsetting me. It's upsetting me. If it was anyone other than Bug Dually, I would have just lived with missing the 70% crit chance and not minded, but losing to Bug Dually because of that is really annoying me. Make an argument for playing this, as disruption over dive weights, but I think it's not as good as dive weights. You're gone. We definitely want an upgrade on our Crow's Nest, reducing the chance of that nonsense happening.
The quicker the fight.
Scarf, to be honest, doesn't really need an upgrade. It's scaling like crazy anyway. Rowboat upgrade would be nice. Let's get rid of... Oh, I guess they're gumballs. You can just do them one by one. As annoying as that is. We get a lot of value from this. We get the natural value of the gumball, plus the buff to Scarf, which is doubled, plus the buff to Cove, plus they're free from Loop. This is what you call a gumball build. And they buff Crusher Claw through buffing Scarf. Loop? Loop A? I've always just assumed Loop. Got to take a look at skills. 40 damage isn't much. We're not... Oh, yeah, actually that's quite nice. Let's take Flashy Pilot to max out crit chance. So the first time we use Rowboat, it gives 20% crit chance to Crusher Claw, which guarantees that it hits for crit. Late game Pig, very, very scary. But I feel like we match up okay against Pig. I take a Pig over Mac at this point, I think. We just don't want to see a massively scaled fixer-upper. Drumming build with Shield Atlatl. I think we may, as long as we crit, we should be okay here. Yeah, and we have to crit. We're 100% chance to crit. So we just get there. But I think even if we had to have a second second crush with our claw, we would have been fine there. So we're one away from a 10 piece with Crusher Claw and Silk Scarf. You love to see it. Wanted Poster you can sell out of once you're on 9 wins because it's never going to get you anything more. Let's continue our scaling. Our Scarf is up to nearly 2,500. Our Cove is up to insane value. You at Diamond would be a strong shielder, but still not as strong as a Scarf. Nothing we want to transform. Let's have a look for Rowboat, seeing as the other options aren't great. And at 8, I'll buy for Scarf scaling. That's the limit of what I'm prepared to pay, I think. And that being said, now's possibly the time to get rid of Cove and just go all in on scaling and spending. If Cove isn't on the board now, it's probably not coming on the board at all. It's done an amazing job for us with Econ. So let's now take advantage of that to buy everything that we can to scale Scarf as much as we can.
Yes, my lessons are costly, but not as
What are we cooking here? 20% crit chance for Scarf. We can do better, surely. Don't use any large items, and don't slow or have any burn items. So, swing and a miss. Give me back my Cove, please. I always think we can. But I kind of don't want to take on the Property Baron either. He can be pretty nasty.
Stop.
I always think I can. I never can. As long as it goes off once. The freezers didn't hit it. I think we should be okay because of that. Yeah, lovely. So it's guaranteed critting for nearly 5,000. So we need to... Hopefully we are up against an enemy with less than 5,000 HP. Because that's a pretty massive break point. Actually, now you're hitting for more than 5,000. How did that happen? But that's a pretty massive break point, whether this goes once or twice. We're obviously far rather that it only has to go once. Instead of... Let's go to a shop, seeing as we have a lot of money. Basically anything that's a non-weapon we're going to buy for scarf scaling. Nice to get a little upgrade there.
Sailors know how to use that. Scrape off the barnacles. Good
Really trying to push for a win. Curio is great to see. Really trying to push for a win today so we don't have to go any later. It's as busted as this build is. You start to come up against some pretty ridiculous stuff. We'll be buying out the shop other than weapons.
Trash is tragedy. Reuse everything.
Don't care about the extra money.
Well, you're doing your part.
Yep.
to clean up the Bazaar.
Play knee brace on the last days as the flex. We're nowhere near strong enough to do that. 3,000 scarf, transitioning into 3,000 crusher claw with crit, so 6,000 crusher claw, guaranteed crit. Charge coming to both key items from rowboat, so helping both with survivability on the left and one tapping the enemy hopefully on the right, and then just a little bit of bonus haste hopefully helping matters from the right, with Crow's Nest doing what it always does. Beautiful build. And a worthy final foe, Bug Dooley. I think we sell Loop just so that we're really all in here.
I may be young.
Let's see how we go against Bug Dooley. Hopefully we don't see that late game Dualtron nonsense. Uh-oh. There it is. We lose to this because I think they get their one tap off before we get our one tap off. Yeah, they have freeze and we don't. Such a stupid build. Fix it, please. Alright. No salty. Let's really try to get this over the line. Which means basically hoping we get lucky. And crit effects is great on Crow's Nest because it doubles the damage that crit does. So that pretty much guarantees that we one tap now. Now the question is making sure that we get to the point where
I will not fail.
Crusher Claw is going off once, basically. It's pretty much a guaranteed win. So we just buy out shops, anything that's not a weapon. Scale as much as we can, even though it's kind of limited. It's already one tapping, but scaling can't hurt. No. You're tempting. You allow us to beat other one tap builds. Almost certainly. But I don't think we can play you over rowboat. Which is how we're making sure it goes off quicker. What we really want is a silencer. But I think we still take loot. Silencer would be a huge upgrade here. That's not a bad upgrade with dive waves. And I think this is the most I've ever wanted a build to get over line in Bazaar.
Master Merchant, I can. I'll show you those stumps back home. I'm
Such a cool build.
Business tree. Where's Mitchworth? Oh, did he see me close a deal?
Just buy out the shop, seeing as it's our last day no matter what. Even at that extreme cost for very marginal scaling, it's better than the money burning a hole in our pocket. Don't want to go up against Void Golems, so let's try against Property Baron. As long as we go off once, it's fine. Not interested in anything here. So yeah, we go off once. It feels like an awful long time though, doesn't it? That's 7 seconds. Feels like a very long time. In fact, it's probably a bit less than 7 seconds because it's getting hasted. But still, that's a decently long time for a one tap at this stage of the game.
Reward the peaceful.
Were we buying everything?
Guided me to what you need.
We got the one closer, right? Yep, just bugged out a bit. More. Oh, what are you?
Feel our
Haven't seen you before.
resonating.
When you use a friend, haste it for 2 seconds. Interesting. Adjacent items are friends. Wow. What a cool item. I love the flavor of this, which I assume is supposed to be sitting down and playing at a piano, thereby making people nearby your friends. Such cool flavor. Not sure about the haste really, but
You are enough.
it works. There must be some really fun creative ways to use that, I'm sure, but it's not in this build, unfortunately. We'll try to get that in a future build.
The smaller proportions, the fine buyer's remorse.
All in on scaling still. We're going to run out of money just on the final day, which is perfect.
Excellent choice.
We've done everything we can, I think. Everything we can to give ourselves the best chance. We just hope we don't run up against Bug Dooley. It's not Bug Dooley. I'll take Mac over Bug Dooley, even though we don't have good survivability against poison. It's all just about getting 1 tap from Crusher Claw in. Fingers crossed. Would be great to get this to 10. Even if we don't, it's been super fun. But I feel invested.
More fun.
I seek the ultimate secret.
No disruption, 1 time. That's fine. That's not fine. Come on! No! We didn't get to do anything! I feel we got so unlucky in that previous dually fight, and that just cost us the 10 piece. What happened here? You froze Crusher Claw. If you didn't, is that 1 second? Yeah, the freeze going on Crusher Claw is pretty brutal. My instinct is we wouldn't have quite got there anyway. But obviously not what we wanted to see get frozen there. Anyway, another 9 wins, which is sad. But what a fun run. Really, really fun to put it together. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more gameplay videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. I upload daily Bazaar videos. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.